Hey Libra, welcome. I have not pulled your cards yet for this past life reading. I'll put a timestamp. This is what it looked like, the mountain you used to live under. Nigeria, BC, Kano Kingdom. Kano King one day falls in love with a very, very beautiful girl with a charming smile and dimples, little freckles and a big booty. And she became the Kano Queen. Am I saying that right? Kano? Kano? Help me if you know. So their people were the original Nigerian people. They called them the Kanawa people. And when a man loves a woman very, very much, okay, there you come. So you are the princess or prince of the king and the queen of the Kanawa people culture. So we're talking like central Nigeria, near mountains, near rocks. I don't know, I'm just staring at this. It's like I'm getting like an ancestor voice, like Mustafa almost. Like, we lived under a mountain that looked like this. Something about that. Oh, he said if she's paying attention, she'll notice. Oh, okay. Come through, ancestor. If I'm paying attention, I'll notice that there's an inner kingdom there that still exists. A place that hasn't been destroyed by the darkness yet. And I might be in that mountain. So not just under the mountain, but in the mountain, in the ground. Wow, this is like you're Nigerian. I don't know if you know that you have Nigerian heritage, but this is, oof, yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, you might be American too. This is, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. Libra, this is going to be a 4-parter. How your family ended up in America is almost the story of your past lives from what I'm getting. And we all have had, ancient lives, past lives, but something about these ones is very specific to what you're going through right now. You can draw strength, energy, inspiration from it, or from these places. If you're kind of stuck in a room like I am right now, you can make the most of it and do some research and maybe find some solace there. Or find a trace of yourself. Because I'm feeling like you might feel so alone that like you're feeling kind of like an orphan, misunderstood, unloved, far from home. So, if you feel connected to, even if you're not African, to Nigerian culture, you could look up Nok culture. Let me pull on the first one, the king and the queen one first, where you lived under the mountain, where there was also a hidden kingdom that still exists for you when you're ready to come home. There could be a fear of connection there. I feel like you're afraid that there might be just more pain there, but I think that you'll be embraced and guided. You have very, very strong ancestors guiding you. You are very strong. And I'm wondering if that's them. Kano King, Kano Queen, like your old kingdom parents from so long ago. Let me pull on that. So yeah, it will be helpful for you to connect to that culture if you do feel like, even if you're not African, because you could have Native American heritage here. You could have Latino, Caribbean, or Venezuelan roots. But it goes all the way back to the Kanawa people, BC. Okay, so let me pull on that life because I feel like... Hold on, let me shut up. Maybe I said Mustafa because you love the Lion King, or you feel a connection to the Lion King because of how protective he was as a father, and that's because you had that kind of father. Even if you don't now, if you're like, I can't even imagine, I wish you did have that once. That's why you recognize it when you see it in other people. And if you're a man, you're a good man, because that's the kind of father that you would want to be. Or you're a good mother, and you know a good man when you see him because you had that father. You know, king for the right reason, born into it. A true patriarch is the head of the family. Not the controller of the family, you know, it's the... Oh, that's such a shocker. Such a shocker. Okay. Hold on here. So that would be the first one, and that would be the next one in the next culture. So for the first culture there, of course, you are royalty. You have leadership abilities because you were born with them. You can and did inspire others. You were self-motivated. So if that's how you are now, you've been that way for quite some time. Okay, you've always had a regality about you. No matter what anyone tried to do to you, it's because they felt... Even if they felt that they were above you in status, they would try to hurt you just for being around, is what I'm getting. So you've had your fair share of learning to be a warrior, okay? Challenge that I'm getting, you might still know that this is something that people are challenged with you. How about I say it that way? You're not intimidating, they're intimidated. It's very that intimidating, domineering, intolerant. I think that a lot of people get a pass when you don't, because people want to put baby in a corner because they see that you are royalty. And if they have a chance to step on you, they will. That's something that you learned. But you had to learn the hard way because you came from a very pure, loving place and people. How did you how did you die there? How did you live? How did you die? Beautiful. Oh. Wow. And everyone else? Wow. Oh, you might have a fear of natural disasters, but you lived a very happy life while you were alive. If there were the best of times, it was probably then. You lived in balance with the land. You were a healer. You were a natural witch, and I mean in understanding energy and understanding the earth and working with the elementals. You were very close with them, close with the earth. And you were able to find your true love and be with them and choose each other and have a life with your soulmate. From an early age, I get that you kind of were high school sweethearts, you know, if you would apply that to how school was back then, because I feel like you were educated, and education was very important to your family, at least to your family, okay? And there was no difference between, you know, like educating a man, educating a woman, being a warrior man, being a warrior woman. We all We all did that, is what I'm hearing. We all did that. We all watched out for each other and cared for each other, and it was very we. And you met is that someone within the culture there? Oh, okay. All right. So you met your match with this one. Like a town over, very, very long black hair. But I'm getting straight, not curly. Maybe that's what caught your eye. Could have been from a more northern tribe, but very powerful, very capable. Like, he came into this relationship young and vibrant, and the way a young man loves a woman and the way a young woman loves a man without making it R-rated, it was very magical and it was very beautiful. And your parents approved, and so he was able to become a part of that bloodline. Did you have kids? I mean, what should we talk about? Yeah, oh boy. If this isn't the best of times, I don't even know. Yeah, you got married, you made the decision. You said, okay, this is the one. And he said, yep, that's the one. I'll never love anyone again. And you're like, I'll never love anyone again. And you didn't. And you got married and had babies and lived happily ever after. Until a cataclysm. There was like a cataclysm that you didn't see coming with the tides. But you're in Nigeria. Can I pull more on that? Is it a volcano or something? It's something that took out the entire tribe. And so you were all kind of reborn, but together a little bit later. Trust. Person who does not have a name. Emergency. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Red fruit. The milk moon. Ugh, what's that? The red milk moon. It's something that we don't have a name for today, so I'm struggling with the words. They're like, y'all don't even know what we're talking about, and I really don't know what they're talking about. I'm sorry. But it was something where it was a cataclysm that they could see in the sky, and it was terrifying. But you all came together as a clan. Oh, okay. The ones that lived in fear scattered. The ones that lived in love held together. So even though it was kind of terrifying, it was beautiful for you. So it's like the blood milk moon. And there wasn't anything left, is kind of what I'm getting, but you were reborn. Oh. Oh, that was your next life. Okay. So there was a migration. You were sort of a... Okay. You went... Oh, okay. So as a tribe, sort of as an archetype, you decided that instead of trying to fight nature, you would work with nature, and you kind of made vows to Mother Earth, Mother Sea, however you want to see it, the Orishas of your tribe, of your culture, that you would always try and live in balance with the earth. And so in that way, for a while, I feel like you migrated around, okay? So if it was the dry season, you went where it could prosper. If it was the wet season, you went where you could prosper. You didn't set up roots so deep that it could ever destroy you all again like that. It's like you vowed to not put all your eggs in one basket when it came to your kingdom. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say that you were very beautiful. You were very striking. Your people were very beautiful, very striking. To see them, if you were an outsider, you would just be like, oh, oh. But there's something about terracotta figurines that you can literally look up right now if you want to connect to this culture. Okay, it's called Nok culture, Nok, from central Nigeria. Yeah, I mean, from like 3600 BC. So very connected to the earth. Very much children of that area. They invented iron smelting for the nation way back then. But then the tribe moved on. And there was a migration back. Why back? Back to Central Sahara? Oh, so all the way going back, when it was a beautiful green paradise. Your parents came from Sahara. And they sort of made their way back there. And that's when something happened. Can I guess? Wait, let me shut up. Hold on, what happened? So what is it that took you from Africa to the Caribbean? Oh. Is that what it was? Oh. Okay. This is another one of those, okay. So you might think of yourself as a prince or a princess, but you are king and queen, or queen right now. That's where you are as an archetype, spiritually and physically in form. You came here to restore balance to your bloodline. You came here to cut generational ties and curses. You came here to cut off all dark portals into your bloodline. And you're just the man to do it, or woman to do it. So you were kind of gone in heaven as an angel for a while. And you popped back in and said, So people were taken, including your people. People were taken, kidnapped, promised a new life, promised a job, the same thing that happens with slavery today, but we don't talk about it, right? That's what happened, and it turned out to not be what it was. You are long gone by this time, passed on. You are one of the Mustafa spirits that speaks to the lineage as a guardian angel, okay? You might not be there in body, but you're always there in spirit. That's what y'all do for each other always. It is a circle. It's the circle of life. I'm sorry, I keep getting these Lion King references, but it's just because you understand it so deeply. Look at this card. I love this deck so much. Shout out. Look at that. I'm just going to hold this up here for a second. If people could see your spirit, I mean, take out David Bowie face, maybe, you know. That's kind of what your spirit would look like. You're so much bigger than your body. You really do understand and respect life. You really do understand and respect death. And generations, and change, and growth. And when it's time to rest, when it's time to stay the same. But the wheel has been down for too long, and it needs to be tipped back up into balance. So you were born to do that intentionally. You might be a lawyer. Oh, Libra, lawyer. All right, I'm a little slow here. Okay. You're very intelligent and multi-talented as a person. You do enjoy education, okay, and being of service to others. And I'm getting, before you passed away in a former life, you were an architect and you taught others how to be architects. So if there's anything anything that calls you back to Nigeria or calls you to Nigeria and you have the means, I think there could be a lot of healing there for you. Maybe even in the desert. But a little challenge is that you're moody, unforgiving, and you need to learn to let go of the past, which is kind of difficult to do when it's your intention to balance the past. It's just reminding you to stay focused on the present, and that you already know. Being too stuck in the past, being too non-present, worrying about the future is what can get you kind of caught up in everyone else's drama. And that everything was ugly and horrible and unfair. But you can still be happy. And your children can still be happy. From now on, you came to show. What was that other reading? It was so beautiful. It was like you just, maybe Pisces. You didn't come with the flaming sword. You came with all the love, care, and compassion of a true matriarch or patriarch. To guide the way. To balance. To bring justice to your bloodline. And not with darkness and vengeance. This is all care and compassion. You focus in on those children, on your children, if you have them. So after that, wait, how did you, You're the one who understands how to run a peaceful village, a peaceful family, a peaceful country. It's intuitive to you. You don't have to learn anything from a book. It's like it's right there. Higher law is in your blood. It's like you can manifest out of nothing. You don't even need matter. It's just your free will inspires others to respect others' free will within your own tribe, within your own family. And it's like overnight. I mean, I don't even see it being like little by little. It's like the change comes and they wake up and it's this beautiful, peaceful Eden again. So that brought me to Arawak's Caribbean indigenous people. Orinoco, off of Venezuela. You know that song, Orinoco Flow? Sail away, sail away, sail away. Like that, that area is where you re-emerged to guide your bloodline back to peace, liberty, and justice. Just existing is writing the will. Just existing. It's like, you know, when people talk about doing grid work, like I think you do that just walking around. Like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. So I got that you ended up in the Caribbean as a descendant of those who were taken, but as a child of someone who was an indigenous Caribbean people, and they fell in love with someone who migrated from Africa, who would have been probably one of your children's children. And that's the line that you were born into, okay? And from there, your family came to America. Somehow you migrated again. It's like you never forgot that times change, things change, landscapes change. But there was a sort of ending up in Queens, New York. So you could have a connection to New York, to Queens, New York, or you might find it familiar or find some solace in visiting some of the old historical societies there. Because we're talking about Lenape, Native Americans. So you didn't like magically transform into pale people, if you know what I mean. No, you were native. And there was something called the Ancient Tribal Trail that you can look up, okay? And Lenape, Lenepe. So if you were in like Little Jamaica, I got specifically Jamaica, Queens, New York. If there's a Little Jamaica, this says Beaver Pond. Okay, so if you know where Beaver Pond is, or if you just happen to find yourself there one day, that's because that's where you lived before. Tuckerton Street, north of Liberty Avenue. Okay, so I'm so ignorant, I'm sorry. North of Liberty Avenue, Jamaica, Queens, New York. It used to be the Ancient Tribal Trail, the Beaver Pond. They'd call it, I guess. So you really are African and you really are American. If you're feeling cut off, know that you did have a life of peace and joy. And I feel like your family's kind of lived in New York for some time. Even if they've migrated around since... Okay. Well, it's like they became the marginalized society, of course. They weren't the ruling class anymore. It's like someone who went from royalty to the life of a pauper. But because of your strength, because of your resilience, it was never about the jewels. It was never about the crown. What's royal about you can never be taken away from you. And you're demonstrating that as we speak, as you walk, to this day. But your family was kind of kept in poverty because of because of the demons that do that to people. Kept you there, kept you. I mean, that's what they do. They keep you there. So it's like you could barely take a step forward. But here you are. And like I said, it's going to be like an overnight success for you, whatever that means to you. So whatever you came back to do, you are doing it. If you're like, what am I doing? You're doing it. You're doing something that maybe nobody else could do. For your children, for your bloodline. For your parents. That Kano king and that Kano queen who fell in love and had this very, very special, beautiful baby, that was you. You might have dimples, you might have little freckles that no one knows about, but you are still royalty. And there's nothing you can't do. And there's nobody that can tell you anything. Because you're as much royalty in America as you were in Africa. Okay. I don't know why, but it says that if you're retired and you're older and you're looking for something to do, you might enjoy forging metal, iron smelting like the old tribe used to do. Could be something therapeutic in metalwork. Listen to your intuition. Keep the peace for yourself no matter what is going on the outside. There's a storm coming for some. You know that already. You will be in peace. Your children will wake up to Eden. So hang in there. And if you need somewhere to visit and you're in the New York area, check out that Beaver Pond area north of Liberty Avenue. Or you could go to the Caribbean. You could go to the Orinoco. Or even Venezuelan. Okay, I'm getting that you ran the first post office in that area or something. Huh. You've done a million things. You could do it all. So yes, definitely ancient African Nigerian roots. Definitely ancestors, very powerful with you at all times. Very proud of you. All you gotta do is ask. They said all you gotta do is ask. Okay? You already see behind the veil. I don't have to tell you to stand strong, you just are. Cleanse your area. Stay, a physical cleanse maybe. There's something beautiful in the old ways for you. So maybe research that Kanawa people to get a sense of how ancient and wise and beautiful and beloved you are and have always been. Okay, Libra, I'm going to leave it there. That's beautiful. I will see you for the next one, okay? If it resonates and you feel comfortable, comment below. If it doesn't resonate, check your other placements, and I'll see you for the next one, okay? I'm Walker. This is Dance Walker Tarot. Thanks for watching.